Hello, my name's Sean Connors and welcome back to the Outsiders channel. Tonight I'm going to do a quick video about is it overpowered. I saw this video that was originally posted by the DandDPuzzleOfTheWeek's channel, and it was responded to last night by Rabbit, and I've forgotten his second part to his channel's number, but I'll put links to both theirs at the bottom. And I thought I'd chip in. Rabbit's video was really interesting because it talked about summoning possibly being overpowered. We was talking about Dungeons & Dragons, particularly Pathfinder here, so all those lumped together really for this video. I'm really interested by that because I don't believe summoning's overpowered at all, and I'll quickly explain my reasons why. Rabbit does go on to give a fantastic example about how in his game he's house ruled it, and very simply to recap, and it's well worth watching this video. He says that effectively only in his game only one active summons can be active at any one time, which is a great, it's a very good idea. But of course it completely dilutes summoning completely, almost making it actually worthless, just as a point. Now, Is summoning overpowered as it is in the book? No, because you have to remember as a DM, what the players can do, you can do. So by definition, if it was overpowered, everybody's doing it, and I don't think it is, because summoning means what? It's a full round action. A full round action means you're a target. If you're going to stand there waving your hands around for a full round, you don't think the enemy are going to do anything about it. If as a DM you don't make a conscious effort to attack a spellcaster who's standing there for a full round, in the nicest possible way, I think you're doing a disservice to the enemy in a lot of the cases. Now, I'm not saying summoning can't get off. I'm not saying for 1 minute that it doesn't have its uses. It certainly does, but it's far more difficult to get off than it first appears, and that's actually very important to remember. That it's a key point, to be honest. And you think about how difficult it is. If you get hit, the difficulty check is 10 plus the damage dealt plus the spell level. You've actually got to make a concentration check. That's quite difficult, particularly at any level, to be honest with you. And obviously the damage, as you got levels, gets more and more, so virtually impossible to save the spell. So it's not that simple to get summons off. It's not something you can rely on as a bread and butter get out every time. And not only that, even if we assume that the DM wasn't going to press the players at all, there are several counter methods that the enemy can use, but the most important one, of course, is protection from evil, because if you read the spell, of course, that'll ward against protective creatures. Now, it doesn't take a lot. Those creatures might come en masse, like you gave the example of 3 bears. Great, 3 bears come in. So round 1, bang, you got 3 bears. The next round, if you were to stick up, because you can put it on someone, a protective ward like, say you knew there were, bears, so they're probably going to be neutral alignment, protection from neutral, well, those bears can't attack him anymore. It's common sense prevails, because by the definition of the spell says that the warded creature, as long as he doesn't attack them, they can't attack him, and eventually they'll wink out. So summoning actually is not that effective. I think it's one of those things that often gets talked about on forum boards and stuff like that, but I think when you take a reflective view about it, it's actually fairly well balanced in Pathfinder and 3.5 and 3rd edition. And I thought I'd just chip in with my viewpoint on summoning. I think, like a lot of cases in Pathfinder, what first appears to be overpowered isn't. And actually, I'm going to have this as a new segment to my program. So if you've got anything, I'm going to particularly focus on Pathfinder. If you've got anything in the Pathfinder game and you think it's broken, and I'm talking here about the core book, those are the challenges I want. I don't want challenges from any of the other Splat books because they're not as well play tested. I'm talking about the core book. If there's something in the core book that you think could be a good challenge, is this broken? Does this seem overpowered to you? Why don't you send me an email about it at Sean, SEAN.Connors, CONNORS 68 @me.com, and I'll happily do a video on anything that people think might be broken to give you some perspectives on how a DM would look at it. I'm not taking anything away from the spell, I'm just being honest. I think there are several counter methods that are available to the GM that make it totally playable. But as always, with Route 1, it comes down to what you can do, so can the GM. Anyway, I've been Sean Connors. This has been Outsiders, talking all about, in this case, is summoning overpowered? All the best to you, take care of yourselves, and happy gaming.